So last night, just as I sent Levi a prompt at around 5 p.m., I sent my colleague at UW Stevens Point, and a good friend of mine, Matt Bookman, a prompt, and he is going to, as Chris brings down the screen back there, I think, Matt's not able to be with us tonight. He stayed up all night writing a piece of music, and then he had a gig in Green Bay tonight. So he's going to tell you a little bit about what he composed and the process for composing this piece. He started working on it last night at 5 p.m. And this is a 24-hour arts festival, but for Matt, it was an 18-hour arts festival because he had to write the piece between 5 p.m. and he sent it to me a couple minutes before 11 a.m. this morning. So that's about 18 hours of writing, and I mean, I write choral music as well, and that's a really tight deadline to get a piece in by. Matt will, in just a moment here, explain a little bit about his piece titled Transformation.
Hello everybody, my name is Matthew Bookman, and I'm the composer that wrote the piece that you're about to hear on tonight's 24-hour challenge concert. Before I talk a little bit about the piece, I want to thank Tim Buchholz and the committee for giving me this wonderful opportunity and this terrific challenge. As I'm sure you've already heard, the theme for this year's challenge was transformation. And I have to hand it to the committee for giving me an absolute softball, because that was a super easy theme to write for. Transformation is a major concept in art making in general and in music in particular. The committee gave me three different options. One was to set one of 13 different poems that they sent. The second was to find my own poem to set for the choir. And the third was to write my own words. The very first thing that I thought about after reading my charge was that I would invent my own word and transform it over the course of the piece. And then I thought, I have to think of a good word to add on to make a phrase and to build it. And so then I turned to the 13 poems and found one that I really liked, and I began memorizing it. It's a short little poem, only 2 stanzas long. And so on my drive home last night, I began memorizing it. The poem had the word that I used for the piece in it. The word is rose. There were other words in this poem like arrows, and so I thought, there's my word. So I basically borrowed the word from one of the 13 poems, and over the course of this 4.5 to 5 minute piece, I start by building the word first by the letter O, the letter R, and I add on the letter S, and it builds from there. And there are different words that pop out in the texture, and hopefully you'll hear those as we go along. There are other ways in which the piece is transformed. There are rhythmic transformations that happen in the piece. It moves from something that's in 4/4 but with a 3/8 rhythmic idea, and it eventually transforms into 3/8. The other transformation that happens is a harmonic transformation. I start with a single pitch, and that pitch is used in 4 different harmonic settings right within the first 4 bars. So there's various different compositional transformations that happen over the course of the piece as well. I'm really excited for you to hear this. I think the choir is doing an exceptional job. I just came from their rehearsal. They had only had it for an hour, and Dr. Buchholz is whipping them into shape. So I think that you're going to really enjoy it, and I want to thank you for being here tonight, and I hope you enjoy the piece.
As we wait for the screen to go back up, the other thing I can tell you about the rehearsal process today that maybe you didn't see in your we probably didn't put it in the program, the choir here hasn't been rehearsing since 5 p.m. last night, and we would all be like falling asleep on stage if we'd been up that long. We started rehearsal at 1 o'clock this afternoon, so we had 4 hours of rehearsal. Those of you that have ever been in a choir in preparing for a concert, you take weeks or months of hours a day of rehearsal. We've had 4. So I'm really proud of these students and community members for pulling off 3 challenging, in particular the last piece, challenging numbers in that short amount of time. And we're excited to share this last piece with you. I hope you enjoy Matt's confirmation. Thank you again for joining us this evening, and for those of you that participated as well.